Hello, this is my presentation for farmer populations. That is the vulnerable population group that I have picked. My name is Parker Williams, and this will be the PowerPoint presentation. The description of the population: farmers are known for being a stoic and particular group of patients. They are usually the type of patients who come in when it's kind of a little bit too late or something like horrendous has happened, whether it's an injury, but with diseases and chronic conditions, it's usually on the later onset when they just can't handle it anymore and they try to work past it. They tend to take care of their land and their animals before themselves. They can farm anything from field-grown crops like grains, wheat, barley, to groups of animals, cows, sheep, horses, all sorts of different ones, to specialized plants. A popular group coming up is marijuana and other herbs like that. They are known to have continual high levels of stress with physically demanding workloads, working long hours into the night and early morning days when they have to harvest either their grains and whatnot to being able to take care of their animals and making sure that they're taken care of. Size of the population locally in Box Elder County, there are over 1,100 farms. Compared to statewide in Utah, it encompasses a little over 18,000. And then nationally in the US, there are more than 2 million farms in operation. And then internationally, there are over 570 million farms. So it is a large population of people, but usually one farm is ran by family-owned businesses. There's hardly any corporate-owned. I think it said on one of the articles I found was 90% of all farms in the world are either family or privately owned. So that's an interesting fact. Contributing factors, social determinants of health. Their social determinant would be healthcare access and quality. With farms tending to be in secluded regions, getting access to healthcare can be a challenge. With the advancement of telehealth and telecommunications with healthcare, that has helped, but in-person visits can still be rare for some farmers. For example, where I live, a large portion of our farmer population live anywhere from 45 to an hour and a half time distance away from the nearest hospital. So it can be a hard thing to get into their primary care or even come into the emergency room. So if they get in an accident and they have to come to the emergency room, it's you have to send an ambulance out there, or the ambulance out that far has to bring them in, and who knows what can change in that hour and a half that they're driving. So specific concerns, would be for this population would include physical injury and joint breakdown, especially in the knees and the back and hips, increased UV radiation exposure, economic uncertainty, and chemical exposure as well. Root causes, sun exposure, handling of carcinogenic chemicals, heavy manual workloads, and poor variety in diet and health in general. For their Maslow hierarchy of needs, I feel like they meet all of the five, the physiological, safety, belonging, esteem, and self-actualization, where they're able to live fulfilling lives and they're able to reach all of these levels since they're able to take care of themselves, take care of their family, take care of their animals, their crops and everything like that, and then they're able to keep on going. Just shows that they have the self-actualization that they want to continue and get keep on supporting themselves and their family. Their health outcomes are based on the lack of needs. They aren't based on the lack of needs, but more of the love of their farm and sacrificing for it. So sacrificing their health, sacrificing their time and their energy for their farm makes it a lot harder for them to do it for themselves. Communicable diseases or infections. This population is kind of more at risk for skin type infections like MRSA, staph, cellulitis due to their use of tools and equipments and just being around different organisms and not being clean with it. Equipment has the potential of breaking the skin and introducing these organisms. They have a high likelihood of getting the organic dust toxic syndrome, which causes flu-like symptoms. They just develop kind of the flu-like symptoms and from the dust that gets into their lungs from the multiple years of grainy or of tilling and kicking up the dust, and it just gets in their lungs and causes this type of syndrome. Farmer's lung is an allergic reaction that is caused by moldy hay, straw, or grains that causes damage to lung tissues and can cause um, complications such as asthma, COPD down the road. Non-communicable diseases include hypertension, hyperlipidemia, obesity, arthritis, asthma. Skin cancers are common, including melanoma and carcinoma. Deafness is common as well due to loud machinery use and um, tractor use in farm animals. And then skin disorders such as allergic dermatitis or contact dermatitis as well. There's little data to show occupational groups and their self-harm statistics for farmers. From what I could find, self-care among farmers can range from very good to very poor, depending on the situation they're in. Working long hours with minimal sleep during the busy periods of the year can have a direct correlation on their health, and poor diet choices is a big factor when it comes to their self-care as well. There wasn't really anything for harm to or by this population. They are doing a necessary service to keep either their community, country, state fed. So they're actually doing the opposite of harming others. Harm against themselves is the main uh, uh, the main one that you'd want to look at, but there was little data to show if there was like any special statistics for farmers and harming themselves. The only one I could find was from the 1970s when the farmer crisis happened, and there was a lot more self-harm in that instances. But in the recent 10 years, there hasn't really been an uprising or any data to show. And then these are my references, and thank you.